Much needed win there, so Man United 3, Luton Town 0. Could have been a tricky tie, especially after how badly we played against Crystal Palace. For me personally, because the game's literally around the back of my house, I'm like, listen, if we lose against these, I probably wouldn't be able to step out for a little while. Like, I was like, don't me about Man United, just don't. And you know what? It's a weird game. The scoreline would suggest we smashed them, and it wasn't quite like that. But we're through and unscathed. That's the main thing.
Exactly, job done, isn't it? I think first half was very poor. Lingard, I think, looked at a brighty spark. Van der Beek, I thought the way he linked up with Mata was promising as well. But yeah, I think subs came on, changed the game, and I think it highlights the lack of squad depth we've got. Like the drop off from our first 11 to some of these squad players we've got is absolutely massive. But it's good for people to get minutes. I think getting Matic and Fred in the midfield was good today. See Fred, I think he needs to run a game, to be honest, and I'm hoping that he gets that at some point. But yeah, I think focus on the positives. Greenwood, Rashford scoring, great for their confidence. Another penalty, so it's just good to get them in the bag as well, isn't it, to be fair? So yeah. I'm feeling positive from that.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised when I saw us get another penalty. We seem to get them all the time. With Solskjaer's team selection, look, obviously we've won 3-0, so we can all say, yeah, it was the right selection. Well, then again, you could say actually, well, then maybe it wasn't, because we had to bring those guys on to kill the game. What did you make of his team selection? Would you have liked to have seen more first teamers in there from the start because they need minutes? Did it show that we needed it, or do you think it was the right thing from Solskjaer to put?
I think we judged that when we play against Brighton at the weekend. To be honest with you, I think it depends. I thought today, to be fair, we started off pretty sharp, but then we seemed to drop off. The pace slowed down, passing the ball far too slow across the back, like we have been doing of late, and we seemed to drop off a little bit. And like I said, the changes obviously had a positive effect on the game, but. Yeah, in terms of Brighton, like I say, I think we should judge it against Brighton, to be fair, because we could, at the end of the day, Ollie's in a situation where you could say to lose-lose. If he doesn't play first teamers, people are moaning at him. If he does and someone picks up an injury, people are moaning at him as well. So I think it's one of them. We've come out of it unscathed, like you say, nobody's got injured. I was a bit concerned, to be fair, because, like I say, we got a penalty, but how many times have we seen us not scoring from open play? Van der Beek's goal, you'd say, was scrappy the other day. We don't seem to be creating much. And the way that the subs came on, and look, I know it's Luton. I'm not under any disillusion that it's anyone higher than that. But they came on and they looked positive. Rashford looked like he wanted to get at people. Greenwood was confident. We know he was confident in front of goal anyway, but we were getting into positions. And I'm just hoping we can carry that on now into Brighton. Yeah,
we are going to need it. And those two goals at the end, even though it was in a 10-minute cameo sort of thing, it's like the goals breeds confidence. And even if it's against lower league opposition, it doesn't matter. You scored.
I mentioned as well, to be fair, it could have been so different if Henderson didn't make that save. It was a quality save from him.
What a save. I remember looking at it at that point, going into kind of, what was it, late 70th minute or 80th minute, thinking, I'll tell you what, get a lucky goal here, penalties. And he didn't have anything to do all game, and Henderson pulled out a big one.
Exactly. Like I say, if that goes in, that game could have been so different for the last bit. Luton, we know it'd be there like their cup final, and they'd be confident. If they got a goal, they'll go for it. And we know defensively we have a lapse in concentration. We make mistakes. You cannot trust us. But I will say, to be fair, Eric Boyer, I thought he played well today. I think going forward, he should be the partner for Maguire if he stays fit. And we all know that's a massive worry.
Everyone's saying that after today. Everyone's saying that.
Yeah, it's true. We know his ability. We know he can be a bit rash, but he's got the attributes. He's got the pace. He's versatile. We know he can get himself into trouble, whereas obviously we know with Maguire, he's lacking pace. And I think Boyer is the best suited partner for him that we've got at the moment. It's just a worry where we can get consistent games, but I would definitely start him against Brighton.
Yeah, he does look. Look, I know there's situations over his fitness and stuff like that, but maybe sometimes that's also down to the fact that he plays for a bit, then he don't, then he plays, then he don't, and maybe his body's one of them that just needs to actually keep playing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can just get out of match with him.
Get rid of some of that rustiness, and look, he flies into challenges. We know what he's like. He did us one today when he just flew into that slow tackle. Yeah, that doesn't help him, but you love that about Eric Boyer. You need someone who's got that bit of fight and that desire. Raphael had it at fullback. You just like someone who's a bit rash like that. And I know it's a bit crazy, but it's just entertaining to watch. But like I say, he's got the pace, and I feel like he's the best suited partner for Harry Maguire. We mentioned Lindelof the other day, and I think Boyer's earned a right to start now at the weekend.
What did you do with Donny van der Beek at the weekend? Has he earned the right to start?
It's a good question. We keep saying how are we going to fit them in. I thought Bruno came on and he looked sharp as well. The combination, obviously, for that Rashford goal, I thought was superb. Greenwood's little flick, but the way that we played through them, it's an interesting one. I thought Van der Beek looked okay. I thought him and Mata combined well. I thought Lingard looked sharp today as well. But I think you've got to choose your strongest, and I think Ollie will still stick to Bruno being his strongest player in that position at the moment.
But do you agree with that, though? That's what I'm saying. I know what Ollie would do. What do you think he should do?
You know, it's like, it depends how the players turn up. It's easy to say, oh, do you agree with that? Don't you agree with that? We know what Bruno is capable of, but we all openly say that he's been poor for the last few games. Like, we've played poor. And I think if we turn up and we start quickly, like today, I thought we started quite quick, like I say, and I think if we played those players from the off, we could have scored many more goals, but obviously we didn't. So personally, I would start Bruno at this moment in time, but I do think Van der Beek is good competition for him. And I do think that before too long he will be starting, because I think today, like I say, in spells, his little 1-2, his combinations around the box, I do think he is a quality player.
And staying in midfield, Matic and Fred knocking it around well today for large parts. I know collectively as a team we kind of dropped off Luton kind of midway through the first half, and we weren't good enough, and kind of let them in for the early part of the second half, and then we kind of settled down and they got tired. But McTominay also didn't play well against Palace. Would you change McTominay for Fred or Matic?
I said the other day that I think we massively miss Matic in our team. I think he gives us that control in the midfield. I do think Fred played well as well today, but Matic is the one who's more disciplined. If you're playing one holding midfield, I'd definitely put Matic in there over Fred at the moment, purely because he's more disciplined. But yeah, I agree. I think McTominay, he played poorly at the weekend. Matic, I do think, and I know Rick will love me saying this, but I do think when he's not playing, we do massively notice that. And I know he's not getting any younger, and I just think it's a case where Fred needs to learn off him to play in that holding role. Because I've no doubt Fred's got the ability to do it. I think it's more positioning, knowing where he needs to be, and just shielding that back forward. But in terms of being tenacious and getting the ball back, you can never fault that with Fred. That's something that I think he's always got. He's always fighting in there. He's always scrapping to try and get the ball back. But it's more about the quality on the ball now. I think with Matic, he just keeps it consistent and he keeps it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So who's your man of the match before you go?
I saw Mata got it, which baffled me a little bit, to be fair.
Yeah. I thought he played well, though. I thought he played well.
He did play well. He did play well, but it wasn't a standout. Like, I thought Lingard stood out and Eric Boyer as well stood out for me. But because I think he's obviously going to be low on confidence, and I think he was unlucky not to get a goal, to be fair, I'm going to say Jesse Lingard today.
Okay, cool. So I'll see you for the Brighton game.
You will do. Take care, Flex.